Michael Lee does a great job covering the NBA senior writer for The Vertical and Yahoo Sports, kind enough to join us for a couple moments as we put a final bow on the NBA Finals. Michael, how are you?
Doing great. Doing fantastic.
I appreciate a couple minutes. All right, first and foremost, as we kind of put a bow on the NBA Finals, I just think at the end of the day, look, Golden State, deeper team, more talented. Cleveland gave them as best as they had. If Cleveland gave them their best effort in their best game the other night, I thought it was going to be hard to duplicate that success last night. But what was your takeaway from last night's game besides the obvious, that LeBron's still LeBron and Durant is a great player? Overall, what was your takeaway from the series in that game last night?
I think it speaks to LeBron's greatness that it took two MVPs to team up to beat him. And that really is what it took to beat him. I think last year the Warriors figured out that there are limitations to leaning so heavily on Steph and that they needed somebody else of his caliber, to make them a team that could knock off especially when you throw Kyrie Irving in the mix. So I think adding Kevin Durant is what propelled them. And, losing in the finals may have hurt them in the short term, but in the long term, it may have turned what could have been a 2 or 3 year run into maybe a 5, 6 year run.
That's, I kind of agree with that sentiment. And again, people can kind of break down the word. It's semantics when you talk about who's going to compete. I just look at Golden State with their core intact. And maybe Clay eventually decides, I don't want to be third or fourth fiddle. Okay, he's an underrated player. That would potentially be a huge loss. But with those four under 30 years of age, with the bench that they have, I kind of equate it to the Patriots in the NFL. They find a way to just pick and choose and plug guys in that get it, that understand the system, that flourish in certain roles. I don't see any team competing with them. I don't. I can see Golden State winning possibly another 2 championships over the next 2, 3, 4 years and certainly be in contention the next 5 years.
Yeah, there's no reason to think otherwise, primarily because no other team is built this way. You got to think about the NBA. You look at the history of the NBA. We always base it on teams. A lot of franchises have success. The Celtics have success. The Lakers have success. The Bulls have success. But that success was generally tied to a special player. The Celtics had Bill Russell for years.
Yep.
They had Larry Bird. They had Havlicek. They had a number of great players. But you need to have that stud to get you over the hump to win. And, you had Magic in the 80s with the Lakers. You had Jordan with the Bulls. You had Duncan, Kobe, Shaq. You can go down the list. Right now, there's only about 3, 4, maybe 5 supreme talented guys that you plug them anywhere, you're going to win 50 games with them. In the NBA right now, 2 of them are on the same squad, and that's going to make it harder for everyone else to compete. So you can try to assemble a number of great players, but unless the 2 great stars don't get along and don't like each other, you're not going to have a shot. I think the reason why the Pistons were able to crack through and beat the Lakers dynasty was because those guys just got sick of playing with each other. Right now, it's like Durant and Curry are both willing to make sacrifices. They're unselfish stars. They seem to enjoy playing with each other. I'm sure they're, figuring out how to, come together, socially and become friends. That takes a little longer process. But on the court, they get along, they thrive, and they're special. So that's going to make it tough for anybody to contend. You can collect as much talent as you want, but you need that guy. And LeBron is that guy. Durant and Curry, they're now in the same squad, and that's just going to be tough to compete with for a while.
But you also, let me take it another angle, too. There's a flip side to that coin, right? Because I agree 100%. I started my opening monologue with kind of echoing your sentiments where, okay, how am I going to compete? Let me go out and get that next player. So as I'm poaching guys and they think the grass is greener on the other side, I'm also weakening teams. So it's like, to me, it's like a vicious cycle. To me, I think this is a problem with the NBA because I heard Adam Silver say, well, there's 10 great players. Hey, no one's disputing that. But 6, 7, 8 of them are on 2 teams. So I'm almost
that's how it's been for a long time. But that's how the NBA is. I mean, like I said, I named off the great championship teams that you remember in the past. It's not like there were other than the 1970s when everybody was sort of all on the same level and there was parity and there were multiple champions. There were no dynasties really in the 70s. Basketball has been ruled by individual stars, and a lot of them are on really super talented teams.
Yeah, but Boston and the Lakers. Yeah, but Boston and the Lakers in the 80s a little bit of anomaly too because wall-to-wall Hall of Famers, and they even had bench players that you could have argued, you got Walt coming off the bench. I get it. He's in his twilight of his career, but still Hall of Famer. I mean, they had 3, 4. You know what I'm saying?
They had 3 Hall of Famers starting in a Finals MVP.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's sort of what you're used to. I don't think it's necessarily a problem with the basketball. There are 5 players on the court. In NFL there are 11. At a time, they play offense and defense, so it's 22 different guys. They could have their impact. In baseball, you have 9 guys on the field. So it's not like you can have just one player that can change the thing in baseball because you can pitch around him. In basketball, one guy can change everything. You saw LeBron James; he's one guy. And he's averaging a triple-double, and he's doing everything he can. He's making Golden State work for this title. He's not giving it up.
Sure.
He made sure that they have some lopsided games, but they weren't easy wins. So, when you have just 5 guys on the court and you have that one special guy, that's going to, be what separates you from everybody else. So you can't really compare basketball to other sports just because you have fewer guys. And if you have that special player on the floor, he can impact the game on both ends of the court. You don't do that in other sports. So that's what you got to deal with. And that's why I said if you have that special talent, that generational talent, then you think you're lucky star that you got him. And just hope that you don't waste his career.
Yeah, and that's why LeBron's so special because he's got to do so much night in and night out on both ends of the floor. We've seen, and like I said, to me the argument ends. People can compare him with whomever they want to. There's one LeBron James. I get it, and people got to appreciate this guy because once he retires, with the NBA and the media, what we're gonna do, we're gonna beg to find his replacement, just like everyone was doing with Jordan.
It's unique though, in a sense that I think LeBron is such a unique player. That you've never heard anybody even compared to him. You never heard anybody coming up like this is the next LeBron because there's never been anybody like him, and I don't know if there'll ever be anyone. Like
I agree. He's his own man. LeBron is LeBron.
His own man.
Yep.
He's a unique guy. I mean, maybe they'll say Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it's just weird. And to me, I also find it amusing that people compare him to Michael Jordan.
Thank you. That's apples and oranges, man. It's apples and oranges. Why can't you compare him to Magic? I mean, I don't get it. The guy averages a triple-double. He willed his team, and they got a little luck last year, goes on the road on a 7th game against a team that won 73 games, has the block, does everything. Yeah, you throw Kyrie and Love, and they still don't give this man credit. I think
he gets his credit. I
think there's too many. It seems as though there's more detractors than ones that can really. I recognize his greatness. I do.
That's what you have to do for sure. And this is his era. This is his era, no matter what. Even though he hasn't won, like his finals record, I think is I think some people get too caught up in. If you look at him, he was favored to win probably 2 final series.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
He went 1-1.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he was probably in the other 6 he wasn't favored, and he's 2-4 and knows. He got 2 wins that he probably shouldn't have got. They shouldn't have beat the Warriors last year, and he probably lucked into that one over the Spurs in 2013. But other than that, I mean, when was he supposed to win? And he failed. I mean, Dallas he did, but this guy is special. You got to appreciate what he's brought to the game, and the fact that he's been durable. He's never been hurt. He never had to take any time off to play baseball. Like he's gone 14 straight years and just been dominating. And we just got to appreciate it. And anybody that doesn't appreciate basketball.
Yep, I agree with that. Let me let you get out on this real quick. NBA draft right around the corner. Now you're hearing buzz, and I don't know if it's a smoke screen with the Lakers and Lonzo Ball. Maybe they weren't impressed with his workout. Maybe they were. At the end of the day, when you look at some of these players, do you think it's going to stand pat as far as we look at 1, 2, and 3? Like if I were to say, give me your top 3 right now that you see getting drafted, I bet they would probably be online with what a lot of people are saying. I mean, is it going to change?
It could. I know a lot of teams that are pretty high on Dennis Smith. There's a chance that maybe Boston gets a deal that blows his head and makes us say, okay, maybe we should go for it now and try to make a run at trying to beat LeBron and hope he gets old next year. But I think overall, you'll see folks from Washington probably Ball, this Dennis Smith kid, Josh Jackson.
Yep.
There's a lot of talent. I think this is the 2017 draft. I think every decade there's a great draft. You had the 84 draft, 96 draft, 03 draft. This decade we really haven't had that phenomenal draft that we'll remember, 20 years down the road that's loaded with Hall of Famers and MVPs. this could be that draft. So it'd be unwise, I think, to trade out of this one because it's going to be a special one.
So with that being said, do you think Fultz goes number 1?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think Boston's going to pass on him.
Okay, all right. So
yeah,
okay, I agree with you that, and I don't think they're going to pass on this talent either way. Let me just ask from our backyard. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Philadelphia 76ers. Do you think, there's a couple combinations where they could trade picks 5 and 10, but at the end of the day, what route do you think the Philadelphia Sixers go?
I think they build. I think they try to go after Kyle Lowry in free agency to get a veteran point guard in there, and then they just try to get some wing scorers out there because that's really what they're lacking. Just get some guys to spread the floor because you lucked into one with Joel Embiid. I mean, if he can stay healthy, which is a big if.
Big if.
But if he can stay healthy, you have a really phenomenal talent that can dominate for years to come. I mean, what he did on the floor, this year, he blew my mind every time I saw him step on the court. He's a phenomenal talent. He just can't stay on the court. And then we haven't seen Ben Simmons, and
yep.
I just think you surround a playmaker like Ben Simmons, a dominant big man, potentially dominant big man like Joel Embiid. You just get floor spacers and scorers around them. You could be the team that is waiting for whenever LeBron decides that he's done owning the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and see, let's throw the caveat because people only like to hear certain things. Don't walk away and say Sixers are going to beat the Cleveland Cavs next year. No. It's if or when LeBron decides, right? I always have to put that little punctuation there. So you believe then the Kings are really going to be looking to trade up to try to get De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, I forgot to mention him. He's a guy that's an X factor. I think a lot of teams are pretty high on him, especially after what he did to Lonzo Ball in the NCAA tournament. So I think he's an intriguing talent, because he can do a lot of things and he's fast as all get up. And you need speed in today's game. So, like I said, it's going to be an interesting draft, and I think the teams in the lottery, you're going to have to really screw up to not get a talented player.
I made a joke after Fox had his way against Ball that LeVar came out afterwards on social media and actually acknowledged that Fox was really his son and not Lonzo. So, I think Lonzo is going to be a nice player. Again, it's this right from
nobody's
exactly
Lonzo juice like LeVar.
No. I mean, come on, he's on their own payroll, rightfully so. It's his old man. But you're right. There's no guarantees. Like you mentioned the Sixers, and we always have this argument. These are big ifs. They got to show these guys can be healthy. That's the reality. If you're not healthy, it's a moot point. It's all hypotheticals.
Right. That's why, like he was the rookie of the first half of the year, but he only played 31 games, so he's not going to get Rookie of the Year.
Who would you about 30 seconds. Who would you? I compare Lonzo Ball to kind of Jason Kidd's game. If you had to make a comparison,
there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities there. Got awkward shot, really fast, great playmaker, great facilitator, involves his teammates, great floor leader. Same complexion, same haircut. So I think there's some similarities there.
All right, last one for you, and I appreciate it. I got to ask you about this. Any shot that the Knicks try to trade Porzingis?
Heck no. That would be foolish. I think that Porzingis is probably fed up with how things have gone, and he hates the way that Phil Jackson's treated Carmelo. But they want to give him the franchise.
You have to build around him. I agree, but this is the Knicks. This is the Knicks.
Once they move Carmelo, who I think is ready to move on, I think the Knicks will be able to move in the right direction, but mainly because of their drafting. But don't get Phil the keys in terms of free agency and hiring coaches because he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's horrible. He's collecting a check. I said this. He's beyond horrible. He's. It's so bad that at least Pat Riley still grinds it out and has that cachet. Phil Jackson doesn't have that. He wants to do his zen. He wants to play with the triangle. He wants to go off and smoke and joke and have some fun. He's collecting a check. And the thing is, too.
He absolutely is. I think Carmelo I think is way better his job than Phil Jackson is at his. And it's a shame that Phil Jackson's the one calling the shots.
Look at the numbers before Phil Jackson came and how well Carmelo played in the success of this team. It's
he's trying to ruin and sabotage his career, and he gave him the no trade clause. So how smart was that?
How do you? Yeah, exactly. How do you think I feel? I got to go watch film from the Knicks in the '90s playing the Bulls. I had to celebrate the anniversary of Charles Smith getting blocked 17 times.
You know, and that's messed up too because you got to hold on to that, and they didn't win the championship.
And even, yeah, you know, I appreciate you rubbing it. I know. Patrick misses the bunny as well. I got it. Reggie in the fourth. I know.
Dunks on him and shoves him to the ground.
Hey, listen, his knees betrayed him, man. I don't know what you guys want me to say. I got to defend
you know
this
what?
guy.
You always have Stark's dunk. You always have Stark's dunk.
That's true, right? You know, I still got that poster, by the way. It's not hanging up in my room, but I have that poster. So. All right, Michael. Hey, I appreciate it, pal. We'll talk along the summer, talk along the way. Good stuff, pal. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, you got it. Michael Lee, NBA senior writer for The Vertical on Yahoo Sports.